welcome to my first interview. My name is Ratna Soni, and I was born with cerebral palsy. I am currently a college student, and I'm pursuing to make a series of interviews to bring about awareness to that disabled population as independent I am today. I give many people credit for providing me the support that today I want you to meet my sister right now to this interview. Hi, Rita. How are you today?
I'm doing good, Nidhi. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Oh, good. I'm so glad to be here. So exciting.
And now we have been trying to
For months.
translate. Tell us a little about yourself.
Of course. Well, like you said, my name's Ratna. I'm your sister. I'm a corporate professional, and then I also have a side bridal business for hair and makeup. Shameless plug. Um, And then I actually am also on a waiting list for a puppy to become a first time dog mom. So I'm super excited about that.
Oh my god, Mika!
I know.
I'm going to be a dog!
I know it's going to be so much fun.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to ask you a couple questions and let's just have fun.
Mhm.
Okay. I think a family member with a disability. Can you talk about that challenge you encountered and what that taught you?
Oh, yeah, of course. Growing up, there's definitely challenges that we faced as a family because of having a member that has a disability, but um, there's definitely a lot of lessons and a lot of growth that has happened. Um, when we were younger, I can remember we were just so in our family unit that it didn't really occur to me that there was a family member with a disability. It was just normal, right? I think when I noticed changes were when we were kind of in our teenage years and trying to form friends and getting to know people outside of the family is when I started to notice I would have a lot of guilt in wanting to go and make friends, and knowing that, you weren't able to be in that social environment. So it came with a sense of guilt of, should I go? Should I not go? How is that going to make you feel? So that was definitely challenging. But what that really did teach me is, I think that we ended up getting closer, because of, the fact that, like, I would want to spend time with you other ways and talk to you about different things. So, it taught me there's not always one answer to a situation. And I just think that we kept, our family, sisterly bond a little bit stronger in that sense. So yeah, I think that would be my challenge and teaching moments.
We have overcome a lot
Mhm.
as a family, and we can that what advice do you have for siblings that have similar dynamics?
Yeah, I think, one of the biggest things that I think worked for you is, trying to find, your own individuality, um, and your own personality, and embracing that. I think that instead of thinking about the things that you weren't a part of, when we changed the mindset of what you bring as an individual and what your personality is, I think we were able to, um, see that there really isn't a big of a difference, right? Like, it's really just about, finding your own purpose. And I think when we did, um, I think you were a lot more happier. We saw that you were a lot more happier. So I think I would just say, like, even if you have a disability, it doesn't mean that you can't find a purpose in life. So I would just say trying to help that person find their purpose in life would be a really, beneficial part on both ends.
Yeah, and you have done a great job helping me find my own identity. But do you have any stories about me that inspire you or make you laugh?
There's a lot of stories about you that are really funny, and because I think you have a very comedic side to you. um, but I'll say, it was maybe like a few weeks ago. I, was putting up a sound bar at my place, and I dropped it on my foot. So like I had, a few toes that were swollen. So, we as a family called them Fat Joe. So, the toes were really swollen, and it was really hard for me to walk, for a while. But as it healed a little bit, I was able to go out. I think I was at some store or something. I was trying to, exchange a TV, or I don't know where it was, but I noticed that when I was out and walking with a limp, one, it was really hard to get around. And then two, I noticed that other people looked at me differently. And they, they like had a sense of like, if someone, you say, like, someone's passing by here, like, you do like one of these gazes, right? So I definitely noticed a lot more eyes on me than normal. So that kind of, like, it was enough for me to notice it, but not in like a negative or a vicious way. But I definitely, yeah, it felt a little different. So I can see how like you would feel being out in public and having those extra eyes on you. I don't necessarily think that people are vicious by any means, but I think they're just like curious to see like, oh, what's, why is she
Yeah,
acting like that, or what's going on. So I don't know, when we're out in public, I think what inspires me honestly is like you've gotten so good at making other people feel comfortable around you
yeah.
that it's really great to see you interacting in public. So yeah.
Not everybody looks at me like, what's wrong with her? You
Yeah, I think that yeah, I agree. I think it's just more curiosity than anything
know,
else.
yes,
But I think it could definitely like make someone feel uncomfortable too, right? If you don't like, I think when you were younger, I think you had a harder time, but now I feel like you're the one who makes people feel comfortable around you, right? So yeah, I think that it's definitely a hard thing to do, Nidhi, and I think you do it really well.
well, thank you being so close and aware of that disabled community. What would you like to see change?
I think that what I can kind of speak from like our experience, right? Where we were in high school together, maybe, yeah, like maybe a couple years actually. We were in high school together. So I can kind of speak on what I experienced and what I saw based on what you experienced. So I would say from that perspective, I would want schools to normalize people that have a physical disability, because I think that was definitely one of your the most difficult years for you. Um,
Yeah,
is definitely like the school times where everything was so separated for you, and because you were so different, like kids didn't know how to approach you. So I definitely think like I would love to see more awareness brought to different age groups in school, to see people with disabilities, that you can be their friend, they can be part of um, major milestones like prom and dances and sports and rallies and so forth. So I would definitely want awareness brought out in that sense to normalize people with disability in a quote unquote normal school settings, because I think that one was one of the most difficult times for you. Yeah.
it does financially work.
So I really think that it would help to have more of an inclusive mindset in schools. And bullying in schools is so common, and
Oh,
it's so hard just for quote unquote normal kids to feel and have a normal, again, I put quotes on normal all the time, and yet alone someone growing up with a disability and trying to feel like they're part of a community is 10 times more difficult to do. So I would love to see that from a very young age in schools, because it really makes it affects people and their how they grow up, so it starts young.
like that. How do you think we can bring that change into action?
Yeah, and I think that's a really good question. And I think like you're doing it. In my mind, you're creating an environment where you're making people feel comfortable, like I said before, and bringing that awareness. So, I think with what you're doing and trying to create an opportunity to go into schools and speak to these kids, I think would make a really big difference. And I think making them feel comfortable around you, and then even maybe talking to other kids that have a disability, can talk to kids that are going through challenging, school years right now, that can help them understand that they're not alone, but also talking to a bigger class, and showing them scenarios of how you had to deal with things so that they understand that words really matter, how you treat people matter, no matter what they are, how different they are from you. So I think what you're doing is a great starting point to bring awareness to how you treat people with disability matters.
It does. It really does. And if we start young, they can grow up understanding way more
Mhm,
than they do now.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think you're starting that conversation. So it's really good to see that. Great job.
thank you. Oh my God, this looks so helpful. Thank you for being here today. And let's bring change together.
Nidhi, I really enjoyed being here. Thanks for having me, and I will hopefully see you again.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.